Well, it has happened. It finally happened. As a group, we have a hostage that is about to be interrogated. People in the audience, if you have a weak stomach, if you have trigger warnings about verbal violence, disembowelment, and very probably waterboarding, please step away from your computers right now because it's about to get nasty. I'm kidding. I hope I'm kidding. Right, guys? Right?
Quitana is here, so there's a good to fair chance that will happen.
I make no promises.
Alternatively, we could cast Zone of Truth and not do torture.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
but then they could just not answer.
yeah, I think the two in conjunction are really the sweet spot here.
Yeah, I think, Quitana, why don't you start prepping your interrogation kind of devices, and I'll have a quick chat with our hopefully terrified friend.
I just need a good sharp cleaver and a pair of pliers. That should do most of it. I guess some rope too. We'll need to tie him down.
I wouldn't put this person anywhere near rope.
Yes, and can I just say, good job, Sylas, on, not dying.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything, but like I'm still kind of a little stoked, and I like look around to make sure that no one from nobody outside the party can hear. But like, did you see?
A crowd is collecting around you at this point. You have an unconscious mist man and are covered in blood from like neck to toe.
Okay, so did you guys see? Like, I jumped off of the. Of course, all in a day's duty.
I address the crowd. Ladies, gentlemen, people of all creeds and genders, I, Valen, your future Keikasike, have captured this culprit who has been sabotaging our floats, and I will ensure justice is done and that Carib knows of my deeds here today. You are all safe and can continue making this float as badass as possible.
And do not worry, we will extract all relevant information from the culprit.
Oh no, we're watching. The crowd is like, are you crazy? We've never seen something like this before.
We're not going to do it here,
You know, Valen, I'm just saying that, like, if there's a crowd watching, there's less likely to be any human right violations, and I just sort of, like, nod my head towards, Quitana, just in case anybody was, like, gonna, I don't know, like, remove limbs or something? Like, maybe not with a crowd?
Oh, that's it.
Oh, come on. I am not an amateur. You do not just remove limbs. That gives you far too little to work with. Come on, we start with fingernails and then start chopping down the fingers.
Can we maybe, I don't think a crowd will do anything to deter Quitana, but, maybe...
I can make them disperse. Is that... Do we want that?
Maybe hold off until maybe Sylas and I fail, and then if we fail, we can get to the dismemberment and...
have you never interrogated somebody before? This is very simple. I go first to scare them and do just a little bit of chopping, just a little bit, and then you come in afterwards, and then you're the good cop, and they love you, and they talk to you.
Hey, Valen, you know what the scariest part of this conversation is?
How much we agree with Quitana.
No, I cast Zone of Truth 15 minutes ago, and Quitana's still talking like this.
I don't understand the confusion.
I don't think that's surprising in the least.
Alright, well, do we have the cleaver? Are we ready?
I hand over a cleaver.
Oh,
excellent.
God.
And as the conversation leads towards cleaving people's limbs, the unconscious mist person starts shaking awake.
I'm cracking my knuckles.
Play the Pokemon combat music.
Didn't we already do this?
Well, this is the social part of the fight.
Yes.
We need battle music for it?
Definitely social, yes.
Alright, play the battle music.
Welcome back, everyone. This is The Legend of Nat 1.
I'm Shane. I play your high-flying, grappling, mist-hugging hero, Sylas Cantor. Welcome to our show.
My name is Rick. I'm the voice of Quitana, and she is very annoyed that her interrogation techniques are being questioned.
I'm Valen, and I'm voiced by Pavel, and I'm gonna be KCK.
I would like to point out that last time Sylas and Quitana interrogated someone, it went fairly okay. He left alive. I mean, they cut off his tongue, but...
Yes, because we couldn't have him spreading rumors around.
You know he can still write, right?
I mean, yeah, but that's different.
Is
Did you want me to take his fingers too? Is that what you wanted?
Also, Pavel, this guy was a real jerk and he didn't seem that well educated, so we're taking some leaps assuming he could write in the first place.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough.
Also, he'd already betrayed me, so his life was forfeit.
So,
Wait, did you say forfeit or worthless?
Both.
¿Por qué no los dos?
So, last time we were doing our best Scooby-Doo impersonations.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys do your own recap in character. Please, Sylas, Quitana, and Valen, tell me what you remember of our last episode.
Well, there was a real mystery going on. Hey?
Oh, God.
Uh-huh. We split up, we searched for clues. Georgie the Corgi had a lovable ruh-roh that we all enjoyed.
Yep, and now we have to go back and edit that in. We found the culprit with a high-tech sting operation centered around crimping. And then we grabbed the mist and we stabbed the mist, and now we have...
Sylas grappled with a rope for a little while.
Oh, that's right. They had the guy had a living rope that was like its own entity.
We are now in the process of saving the individual, as it's important that they turn away from the darkness of chaos and embrace the light of order.
So, how do you restrain a living rope? Do we just, like, tie it around itself? Just knot it up real good?
Yeah.
I was going to say we just burn it.
Well, we'll find out in a few seconds. So, the mist person now has been ever since you knocked them out, has been solidifying into a human man. I think I mentioned before.
Oh, wait.
Hmm?
There's one other thing that we did. We leveled up!
We leveled up!
This is true.
Sorry.
Did we long rest too, by the way?
No.
No.
Okay.
So we leveled up, but we don't have it.
You have upped your level. Anything exciting that you gain on your new level up that you want to tell the masses?
No, nothing at all. Don't worry about it.
I insist.
I changed out a bunch of my spells.
Yeah, I picked up a new spell, but I think the most exciting part for me is that my Bardic Inspiration die has grown. It is now a D8 instead of a D6.
Congratulations.
I feel like it's like getting your partner an Xbox or something. Like, this is a present for you, but it's also for all of us.
Warlocks don't really get anything at 5.
You get third level spells.
Wow.
I think you get
Just that.
don't you get a new... Yeah, you get a new level, a new category of invocations. Because some invocations require you to be level 5 to access.
Right. Hey, I should probably choose an invocation, huh?
Yeah, it'd be a good idea. Also, you can swap your old invocations for ones that are better.
No, I'm kidding. I did that. I took a new invocation and I changed out one of the other ones.
Great. I'm not gonna be angry at that at all. It's gonna be great, and everybody's gonna love it.
I'm very excited.
Now that you've planned the next encounter around Pavel's original invocations. Okay, sorry for interrupting. We have a tied up. Are they still in like mist form?
They have been slowly over the last few minutes. They have been slowly going back into humanoid form.
They have fingers, yes?
Yes, they have fingers.
Good. Excellent. I wouldn't...
Do I recognize this person?
Nope. He looks like generic looking Fafson soldier. Short cut, black hair, tan skin, and like his build is just, kind of muscular but hunger stricken.
Mm-hmm.
Please lay one of his hands palm up flat on the ground. Thank you.
Let's move them out of. First of all, we need to restrain them. Do we have any chains around that I can use to restrain this person?
Not really. I mean, there are chains in a few places of the dock, but you'll have to yank them off where they're attached. There's no free chain laying around.
Okay. Can we? I guess for now, I don't want to use rope is the thing, but I guess I'll use my rope to tie them up, and I'll yell to the crowd, "Somebody get me some chain!"
Someone runs off out of the crowd.
Good man, or woman, or person.
Once we get them situated, I think Zone of Truth is a good way to go, and I still have the one spell slot, but I'm just going to ask that Valen or Quitana stand between me and the villain while my HP is still low.
So, like I mentioned before, they were staring awake. Let's say you have 2 rounds of in-game time before they wake up, and your options are tie them up during this time, or keep beating him up until you're comfortable enough with them waking up.
Well, I think I've started to tie them, but Quitana is free to beat them.
How does he look?
Valen literally very close to kill him.
Okay, then we don't need to beat him more. We want him nice and awake and able to feel all of his extremities.
Yeah.
So Valen, make yourself a sleight of hand check related to tying up the stirring person.
Can I give Valen the help action if I tie this guy's shoelaces together?
I mean, yes. Unfortunately, he's not holding any hot piping spaghetti with pasta sauce right now, but
Jesus.
it'll still work.
Earlier in our other recording, I mentioned how much you love Always Sunny, and that was an Always Sunny reference for the listeners who didn't quite catch it.
So I rolled a 2 and a 15, which is an 18 for me.
All right, keep a note of that number, because every time he attempts to escape, he'll be rolling against your sleight of hand roll.
Spoilers, Quitana, get to beating.
All right. Well, I guess how did you tie him up? You bound his hands behind him or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I was thinking that I would first tie his hands and then continue, because it's 50 feet of rope, tie the rest of the rope around his upper body.
That's fine. I can work with his toes. Pull one of his boots off.
Is his rope still moving?
No, his rope is limp.
I'd like to shove something sharp through it.
Hold on, real quick. So round 1, Quitana took off his boots. Valen and Sylas tie him up. So round 2 of preparations. What are you guys doing?
I am kneeling down by one of his feet, and you know how when chefs slice something real thin and fast, and they're sort of you put the tip down and then you just sort of do that rocking motion with a knife?
Yeah, you have the knife elevated on one end and then the tip of it is hitting the ground.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just layered over the slightest tip of his big toe.
Now he's still hexed, right? Does anybody remember what ability score I chose?
It's been a few minutes since
Hex is an hour.
Oh, so yeah, Hex is still up.
It was either dexterity or strength. It was whatever he was using to escape the grapple, which I think was dexterity, but I'm not sure.
Dex sounds right.
It was Dex.
So he's still, for an hour, he has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Or dexterity ability checks, yes.
So what are Sylas and Valen doing on their second round of
I'll throw up Zone of Truth. Now. Let's make sure that we are done with all these silly lies.
Has the individual who went to fetch me some chains returned?
No. There's,
Okay.
You hear them like yelling at vendors and stuff, like demanding chain is produced for the future Quake Cacique.
I yell out to another person and say, oh shoot, what's the name of the position that my uncle holds here?
Oh, he is just the governor, pretty much.
I yell to one of them, alert the governor's office that we have captured the culprit behind the sabotaging of our floats, and encourage them and Lady Vale to meet me here.
A few people run off in different directions.
Perfect.
Are we ready to begin?
Well, Quitana, do your worst. And Valen takes a step back.
Indeed.
Quitana, do your, like, fourth worst.
Okay, I can manage that. Mr. Person, as I'm sure it has not escaped your notice, you are currently bound and within a zone of truth, and we will be asking you some questions. And, of course, you cannot lie within the zone of truth, but if your answers are unsatisfactory, then I will just be shaving a little bit off of your big toe and moving inward. And so, you can probably handle a couple non-ideal answers, but should it get too far, then we start going down your foot, and then you can't walk, which is, not optimal for you.
So, okay, as he wakes up, I'm gonna give you a in real life warning. The moment this scene starts, a timer in real life will be triggered. Depending on the things you did during prep time, that will affect how much time you will have for your interrogation. But we will do everything in character for whatever the period of time that we are on. I will answer everything as truthfully as I can, and the moment the alarm goes off, something will happen that will stop your ability to speak with him.
Wonderful.
This is a sassy mechanic.
I don't like this one bit.
Why are you sabotaging the pride floats?
Can I make an Arcana check?
The initial timer was 1 minute, and Quitana's action did not add any time to your clock. Sylas's actions, one of helping Valen, added 30 seconds. Casting Son of Truth added 60 seconds. And Valen, your first action of tying him up added the extra 30 seconds, and you are at 3 minutes right now. Your second action did not change the timing at all.
Alright, start.
So, I have a quick question here, and I'm gonna start going through his things, which I assume we've, pulled his weapons away from him and other stuff while he was unconscious?
Yes.
Why are you sabotaging the pride float?
Wait, hold on. When I say go, that's when the time starts. So when he's stirring awake, it takes him a few seconds to realize his surroundings and see where he is, and you see not only fear but horror hit his face. And when he sees you, he tries to squirm away, but the ropes are restraining him too well. And you realize that he's not just squirming away from you, he's squirming away from his own rope. And the moment you notice his gaze hit the rope stiffens and slithers around his neck and starts strangling him.
Oh
I
my.
did say that I stabbed the rope. Did that not happen?
Not.
I did.
He did say that.
But on your first round, you tie him up. Second round, you you send people to get the governor and your grandma.
Okay, so
You didn't take an action to actually do something to the rope.
Well, I said it, and then nothing happened, so I was like, okay, I guess that doesn't do anything.
No, you said it. I'm like, okay, hold on, let's do it in turn. Let's do it in order, and then it kind of I guess left your mind or something. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Sorry, baby. Okay, so the rope starts strangling him, because if you had done that, it would have added some extra time to your clock. But as of right now, we're starting at 3 minutes, and
Can you remind me, is the rope considered an object or a creature? Because it was considered a creature for the purposes of sneak attack.
it is. It's an animated object,
Okay.
which is also a creature. It's both an object and a creature.
So we can consider it a creature.
Yes. All right. And go. You see he starts pulling at his neck, trying to avoid the rope killing him. It's please help me! Please help me! Help him, please! He's gonna get me! He's gonna get me!
I will cast command on the rope and tell it to release. immediately.
Is that a charm effect? I believe it is a charm effect.
It doesn't say charm.
While you read that,
No, it just says the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn. The spell has no effect if the target is undead, if it doesn't understand your language, or if your command is directly harmful to it.
alright, I'll make what's your DC?
It is 16.
I make it.
Okay.
Damn.
So I was gonna look through his bag.
It's like, guys, please, I'm so sorry, please. Whatever I did, I didn't mean it. Please kill this thing. Take it off of me.
Yeah, so I was gonna go through his bag and see if he had a FAFSA bit, but this seems a little pressing, literally onto his throat. So, does he have to, like, escape a grapple? Could I give him a help action by trying to grab the rope and pull it away from him?
For whatever reason, you see that he's like trying to pull at his neck, but he's not trying to escape the rope. He doesn't think. You don't think he can get rid of the rope around his neck.
Okay, that's super weird. Does anybody have fire or something?
I have fire, but it'll incinerate him too, right?
Valen, my sword?
It's alright if he gets a little singed.
What about your sword?
Could I use it to cut the rope? He's gasping.
Listen, we need to stop discussing and just start doing
He's starting
stuff.
to get purple at the face, and we hit the 59-second mark right now.
I'll cast Searing Smite and take an attack with my packed weapon to try to cut the rope and destroy the rope.
All right, go for it. By the way, I was hoping this time would have been used for interrogation, but
Yeah, but if
Go
we
ahead.
save his life, then there's more time for interrogation.
Stop talking, more doing.
Okay, so here comes my attack. 12 plus...
it hits.
Okay, so that's... Searing Smite is 2d6, plus my sword, which is 10.
Starting to get purple, dark purple.
Chop, chop.
That is
That
16.
sound, you cut the rope off, and as you hear that sound, it's the sound of his life withering away. The moment you cut the rope, like, you see his eyes, like, you also hear a gentle pop sound as his eyes kind of, like, come out of his head.
Okay, I'm now traumatized forever.
Was he like dead or like healable dead?
Oh, the rope killed him.
Okay.
Is the rope no longer moving now that Valen's cut it?
The rope now, after Valen cut it, it's acting as if it was like a dead snake after you cut off its head. It's kind of like wiggling around, and then eventually it just dies down and like flops down, and it's now just a dead piece of rope. And everyone around you kind of like gasps in fear and horror, and the crowd starts to dissipate
Well,
until you are left pretty much alone by the duck.
let's go back to my original idea. I'd like to go through his belongings and see if he's got a FAFSA bit on him.
Yeah, we should drag the body back and look for any other marks.
Yeah.
What? Why are you so glum? Sometimes prisoners die.
Well, it's never the desirable solution.
Yeah.
Well, right, we want more information from him, but like, y'all look like attending a funeral or something. We don't have to have a ceremony for a prisoner.
Well,
Oh my God.
we did
Tana,
just
I think we should have a
watch
conversation about the value of life.
Oh no. I still have Zone of Truth on.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
We're just learning more about you, Quitana.
So, when you go through his backpack, you find, remember that blue disc that Grandma gave you, Valen?
Yes.
He has 2 of those, exact copies of the one that you have in his backpack.
What are these things again?
They are Grandma Vale's symbol of cacique. It's pretty much like the cacique's token of power.
Authority.
Of authority, yeah. Symbol of authority.
While you're looking through his belongings, I want to strip him down and search his body for tattoos, markings aside from those which got through during the fight, anything unusual.
Okay, so Quitana canonically just performed a strip search, and all I can think of is her parting the cheeks and taking a good look.
Well,
But
Oh,
he's
God,
already
no cavity
dead.
searches. No cavity searches.
It's not like he has rights if he's dead.
That's not how things work, but okay.
It's a natural pocket.
He's not complaining.
it is a natural pocket. I have never thought of the butthole as a natural pocket, but now I'll never be able to think of it as anything else. Germán, one question about that encounter. Quitana did ask the person twice a question, but they never responded.
Wait, what was the question?
Why did you sabotage the float?
All right, I'll give you that one. 'Cause I was distracted by all the attacks on me. We were very distracted. I was very attacked. The answer to why are you destroying the floats is to lower the influence of Argyle on the Grand Parade.
Argent?
Argent, I'm sorry, Argyle. What? Oh my God, I was watching Arrested Development, and Lucille 2's brother's name is Argyle, and it got stuck on my head. But yeah,
Amazing.
Argent.
I thought you were just like on an Argyle fashion kick.
So,
Wait, what?
Valen, these discs, are only the K-Sequique supposed to have them?
K-Cacique.
Gosh, I don't
Just-
know. I've said it
just don't.
correctly before.
So you say.
K-Cacique.
I'm pretty sure that these were taken from her crewmen or crew people. The two past crew people that sailed with my grandma that were killed were probably killed for these things. So they had two jobs here. They had the job to sabotage our float and hurt our ability to exert influence over the other islands, which is all in line with Tiburcio's bid to become the next Keikasike and take these things. I think we need to have a conversation with my grandma and determine what the significance of these things in the hands of the enemy would be.
Yes. I agree.
How very unlike you, Quitana. This is the start of a beautiful relationship.
New territory.
What do you
here.
mean,
Unexplored
unlike me?
waters.
Yeah, I was.
It's an investigation. That's relevant information. You act like I'm some sort of crazy person, but I'm just prioritizing the resolution of this conflict.
I just mean agreeing with me is new territory, and I was agreeing with you in the torture thing. So
Oh.
this is.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, I see what you're getting at. Yes, you're
This-
finally learning the concepts of order, and you should be very proud.
For the
I
record,
am so proud.
when I suggested using Zone of Truth to get you two to communicate better, this isn't exactly what I had in mind, but I am a little glad it's working.
Well, silence. Stress breeds strange bedfellows. What can I say?
Well, I
And as
guess
mom and dad no longer are fighting, but now have become a more dangerous situation, and
An
Silas-
axis of evil has formed in the
It's,
party.
in Silas's home life.
Not to go back
yes.
to the pre-episode, but let's not throw around the word evil for no reason. Actually, what is my alignment?
questionable.
Lawful egocentric.
Lawful neutral is what I have. Yeah.
I think that fits.
But yeah, while you guys are doing this strip search, which grants you a set of those exotic daggers that the fellow was holding,
Ooh.
and when you pick them up, they are indeed exotic weapons. And the way they work is that there are 4 blades inside, and when you attack with them, you can do 4d4 damage. But doing so exerts so much of your energy that you can only use that one attack that round. You cannot perform any other action except movement. And in any round you use that weapon.
Can you still get
and-
extra attacks if you have the feature?
The way that I ruled that one out was that you sacrifice your bonus action to be able to use your attack action with it. So if you do have extra attack from a class feature, I guess that would allow you to do extra attacks.
Interesting.
Okay.
Sylas, do you need one of these?
Well, you should each take one because I can just encourage you kindly to attack in the midst of battle.
Ooh.
And it requires you have to gain proficiency with it. You have to either train with it or get the feat that gets you proficiency with weapons.
Wait. What proficiency specifically do we need?
Exotic.
Exotic, yeah.
Oh.
Why don't you
interesting.
hold on to these for now, Valen, and once people feel a little more comfortable with Quitana and me having weapons, I'll take one off your hands.
That works.
To be honest, I don't know if I'm going to use it much, what with the fancy-ass magic sword that Quitana bought for me, and thank you, Quitana.
You're welcome.
But absolutely, whatever these things are, they are both dangerous weapons and evidence. You know, they're so unique that I think that they had to come from somewhere, and that could be a tie from this would-be assassin or successful assassin to whoever hired him.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the rope is the unique aspect of this assailant.
All right, so those weapons you found, they are exotic daggers that if you use the attack action on them, you cannot use your bonus action that round, and they deal 4d4 damage instead of the regular d4. And they require you gain proficiency either through finding someone to teach you how to use them, or taking a feat, which means you spend a lot of time and effort on your own to learn how to master them.
Or like a class feature that gives you proficiency?
Or if you have access to learning proficiency through magical means, or what is what I'm looking for, supernatural means, that's a whole different story.
Muhaha. Muhaha, I say. Okay, cool. So we have those.
So I guess we should discuss these tokens with your grandmother.
I finished checking the body. There are no specific markings or anything, right?
There's nothing that catches your eye, like in a scary way.
No tattoos or anything.
Make an investigation check.
Come to think of it, Germán, I don't think you mentioned whether or not he did have a FAFSA bit.
13.
He did not have a FAFSA bit.
I'd also like to assist the investigation if possible.
Yes, please roll with an advantage, Quitana.
That did not help. 13.
So 13 being your highest, you notice in his tricep on his left arm, there is a weird birthmark that at first looked nothing more like a battle scar or something. Upon closer inspection, it looked like a birthmark. But now that two of you are poking around on his arm, you can tell that this is some sort of scarification. Like voluntary scarification, like so how some people get tattoos by scarring themselves.
Yeah.
And make a
Scarring from like a weapon or like
blades,
a brand?
like a
or
thin
what?
blade.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a scalpel almost.
Mm-hmm.
Make an Arcana check, all three of you actually.
Don't mind if I do.
Oh wow. 20.
I don't
9.
think I'm quite as high as Tana. 17.
20 was the highest, right?
Yes.
From your arcane studies, your magical training, you recognize that being a magical symbol used to represent a chain and a link. But the way that is drawn, it's drawn as if it was made from like a coiled, like a rope. So it looks as if it was like someone was spelling the word chain with rope.
Huh.
Sorry, link with rope.
Interesting.
And there, an almost inhumanly possible small Fafsen army symbol has been etched in the center of this engraving.
Interesting.
Valen, do you think that Tubercio would work in league with the main Fafsen army?
Yes, absolutely.
The Fasten Army also has a way of encouraging people to work for them even if it's against their will.
Well, I think it's important we remember that Tiburcio is a giant dickhead, and this is likely not against his will.
True, but we can't fully make that assertion until we know what the motives are, you know? Like, he can be an asshole and still be being coerced.
The dagger itself, does it look like it's just generic Fafsen technology? Lots of, I don't know, like hydraulics on that dagger?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
You have to oil it up to keep it in place, and it has like gears inside that help the blades rotate in the right direction to get all 4 hits at the same time. It's definitely a Fafsen-made weapon.
Delicious.
So,
Well, if we're done with the body, can I just kick this into the water?
No.
yeah, I can't imagine that's good for the water and the things that live there. Well,
Do you know how many
maybe.
dead things are floating in the ocean? It really doesn't matter. It'll float out and somebody will eat it.
Quitana, does FAFSA have any funeral rites?
Yes.
Is it kicking people into rivers?
No, but this was a prisoner, and there's nobody to, speak on his behalf. So we
You
just
find in his
dispose.
wallet a little handwritten note that says, "If I die, throw me in the garbage."
Oh, see?
I
was-
don't believe that for a second.
I
I'd
was-
like to administer funeral rites.
Well, I'm so glad we found this note. Otherwise, we would have thrown him in the river instead of in the garbage.
Oh yeah, that would be unacceptable, really.
You see, you hard cut to Valen standing over like a metal trash can with like 2 feet sticking out of it and a crowd gathered. We're gathered here on this day to recognize the passing of one soul from this mortal realm to the next. Let us all take a moment and imagine the kind of person that this may have been.
Yes.
Was he a baker?
Moment of silence, and I slightly nudge him towards the water.
Imagine the kinds of cupcakes. My eyes are fully closed. I don't notice this. Imagine the kinds of delicious cupcakes that they might have baked.
Oh, the
The
cupcakes!
filling, the
Nudge
frosting.
him again.
Imagine the colorful cakes, the beautiful, intricate designs and delicious texture that we might have enjoyed from this person's wonderful baked goods.
Oh, amen! And I want to yell out amen as I, give him a last little push into the water.
Valen, dusts off his hands and goes, I'm hungry. Is anybody else hungry for
I could eat.
for treats?
When you turn around, you see Grandma Vale just faking tears and fake sniffling. Oh, that was a beautiful trash can eulogy.
Trash
boy.
can funeral, yeah.
Yeah, I love those. Honestly, they really touch me.
Listen, I don't question the the cultural values of any other people. If people want trash can funerals, they get trash can funerals, and I get treats.
Hey, Quitana?
Yes.
What's a cupcake?
I don't know. I assumed it was some part of religious thing that Valen was going. Maybe it has to do with the quesadillas that they talk about here. I don't know.
I wrap my arms around Quitana and Sylas and say, kids, I'm gonna teach you how to live. Follow me, and I take him to the nearest bakery.
Grandma Vale is like, what? No. You're not going anywhere. We have a lot to talk about, especially before your donkey brain uncle comes over.
I could eat though if we're going to eat while we do this.
No, we have to be here and make sure we speak with him before anything else, but...
We can totally walk and talk to the bakery.
I still want to make sure your uncle doesn't do anything stupid. But, let me guess, he had a few of those blue discs that I gave you?
He did.
Of course he did.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's a long story, but I realized that ever since your mother went missing and the little shit stain of Tiburcio took over, I knew things were gonna get nasty, and I knew someone was gonna come after this at some point, so I made a bunch of copies of it, and between me and some of my old friends decided to put them all in a basket and grab randomly, so none of us knew who has the original, and they are exact copies, by the way, at least in the ways that matter. They all have auras that exude the same magic that the original exudes.
Is that gonna be a problem later?
Yes.
I guess we can just get all the other ones and then trial and error, right? For the giant laser beam.
Did you mark which one was real?
I already sent out. That's why I ran off earlier. I wanted to make sure that all the others were in a safe place. They're gonna bring them over to my camp over at the Cove, but yeah, we have to leave the city ASAP.
Are the people moving these items trustworthy? Is the transfer process secure, or is this just you're sending somebody to your camp with all of the valuable items?
I mean, 2 of them died protecting these things, so I would say so, yeah.
Are any of your crew people in town right now? Can we go together, or are they in two disparate of areas for us to be able to move together?
Some of them are a little bit in a remote outpost. Some of them like to be a little bit of hermits. I send enough support that they should be able to get back home, and if they're already dead, they'll bring the bodies. I hope. But yeah, they should meet us back at the Cove.
Okay. All right. I think that we need to make sure that what is his name? Hippolito. We need to make sure that Hippolito redoubles efforts to improve our float while the rest of us deal with this disc issue.
I'm also just going to say it. They kind of dropped the ball on security for the float.
Well, I don't think we ever planned for rope-wielding mist people, but something to consider for the future.
Definitely.
In the meantime, I guess I'll go get Charlie and let him know that he can go back to crimping.
Oh yeah, Charlie's our number 1 crimper. We need to make sure that we put him to work.
And she's like, oh yeah, it was me who put him through crimping school, by the way. That was a good investment.
You did a really good job.
They have an entire school for this nonsense?
How dare you?
I mean, for the glorious art form.
It's more like a workshop in the arts school here, but yeah.
Is the zone of truth still up?
I believe it is.
Let me make the safe then. What's the safe for your Zone of Truth?
Still on 4th level, so 14.
She fails. She's like, oh, actually, it's more like I paid a neighbor to teach him how to cramp, but you know what? Those were 2 silver that I will never get back.
Oh wait, the save is 14?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. Crimping is such a wonderful style of many uses. I understand why you would invest so much into it.
I gotta say, I don't know what crimping is. We've been talking about it for a long time. I still don't understand what we're talking about.
2 silver gets you a pig, or teach a boy how to crimp, and
But you did really good crimping work, Valen. I saw you bunch up that fabric in such an aesthetically pleasing way. You still don't know what it is?
I just closed my eyes and tried to visualize what the word would look like in physical form, and that's what I came up with.
Grandma's eyes literally tear when you say that. She's like, "You're a natural.
You're a true natural, Valen. One day you will be the crimp cacique."
My dreams have changed so suddenly. Bye, guys. I have another destiny to follow.
Alright, by the time the crimping talk ends, Uncle Hippolito shows up, and he is now surrounded by whatever sums up the Vega's, not police force, but like the peacekeepers, which is also another word for police force, and I hate it, but here we are.
So, Mr. Hippolito, can we just make sure that you have people stationed in the areas that have been affected? Because we're not... I just want to be sure that this was the only assailant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. And after the reports of your encounter with this being, we are stationing all of our magically adept citizen volunteers have stepped up and are putting together a magical task force to spray assailants of this kind with fairy fire or other area revealing magics. We
Honestly,
will not let this happen again.
sawdust will go a long way too, just to sort of dry him out. You know.
Unfortunately, the glitter making guild has suffered a lot of casualties, so we don't have any glitter makers. You know, the
Not the
city
glitter
suffered.
makers.
Question: do you have rope makers or chain makers or anybody who specializes in that sort of thing?
Well, one of them died, they were one of our most experienced rope weavers. But we have a few other people who can make rope. I mean, it's a big city. I'm sure I can find a few.
Anything like magical rope or just normal rope?
He says, "Well, now you're asking for way too much, honey. I'm sorry."
I think the magical rope came from FAFSA or from Tiburcio or from whomever was behind this person, and the rope was a suicide pill.
Well, that's my point though. Is that like it's possible they brought this over from FAFSA, but it's also possible they put someone here capable of creating or I don't know, transporting such an item. So it seems prudent.
I don't think it would be a member of Vega. I don't think it would be, a citizen of Argent. I think that it would be an outsider.
Right, but an outsider could impersonate the citizen of Argent.
Germán,
I see.
the rope looks like a rope now, right? Like it was clearly magically animated. It doesn't have
Yes.
gears or cogs or anything.
Yep, it's just rope.
Hippolito, we need to redouble our efforts on the float. We need to make sure that when we go into the parade, that we blow Tiburcio out of the water.
No need to worry. And you see Charlie strut down the street like Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3.
Oh boy.
And he's like, "Don't you worry, the Crimpin team will take lead. And after such show of bravery from the future Quake Asike, we will take the reins and make sure nothing interrupts the magnificent Argent float."
So, Valen, if our goal is to humiliate and basically outdo Tiburcio, should we do and I'm not usually the person to suggest vandalism, but should we do like a counter operation and
Yes,
mess up their
that's
stuff?
For sure. That is 100% what I was pitching when we first got here.
Yeah, I wasn't on board until the mechanized dagger and murder rope, but now suddenly I'm on board.
Good.
Okay, now I'm not on board anymore.
Oh, wait, why?
That was very ominous.
Yeah, but like a fun kind of ominous.
Okay, I'm back on board.
All right, so Grandma, let's head over.
Let's go. And I heard you guys wanted to get some cupcakes on the way out. I sent a runner. They should be back in the carriage.
I don't understand why you would make a cake out of cups, but I'm willing to try it.
It's a
Wait,
cake.
you know what a cake is, but you don't know what a cupcake is?
Correct.
Well, meat cakes, crab cakes,
Sure.
patty cakes.
Justice cakes.
Justice cakes, of course.
Honestly, I'm not sure if I want a cake if it's made out of a rat like those other cups are, so maybe I'll just pass.
Sylas, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
All right, you guys get to Grandma's carriage, and indeed, there are 3 small desserts in a box. Sylas and Quitana, they look to be nothing more than just a piece of paper surrounding white fluff.
I'm confused because on one hand, this is adorable.
I shove it in Kitana's
but
mouth.
On the other hand, I feel like I want more cake than this.
The question is, do you take the paper off before you shove it in Kitana's mouth?
Yes, I do. I'm like holding it by the paper, and as my hand moves away from Kitana's mouth, I like grab onto the paper and pull it back.
So, fun fact: back in the day, even before like Dominican Republic was affected by European and American like food standards, meringue was like a thing back in like the 1800s and 1900s. Meringue was like a very well-known thing, like you could buy it anywhere. Even poor people had access to it, which is just egg whites and sugar put together, because we had a lot of cane. Like we never were lacking in sugar or rum. So they would make like rum meringue and sell it as like a snack everywhere. It was delicious and still is delicious. And indeed, they give you a rum meringue mango cupcake, and it is literally the most delicious thing you've ever had in your fucking life.
This is fantastic. I need 12!
I will, once I see Sylas and Quitana's reactions, I will break mine in half and give them each a half.
You get, like, big, sparkly anime eyes.
This is powerful, whatever this is. How do we get this? I need...
Grandma starts explaining to you how to make them on the way back to her camp. She's like, yeah, I'll give you a few eggs and a sack of flour on your way out. It's fine.
How long have you been hiding this wondrous technology from us?
I didn't have it on the sea or on the mainland, but yeah, I thought you guys would enjoy these.
Well, that is clearly a fault in your preparation, so please fix this moving forward.
Come to think of it, I don't think that the community has much in the way of sugar. So, like, Sylas now is bouncing off the walls.
Oh, no.
Running across the streets, talking to people, then running back. Hey, Quitana! Oh my gosh, did you see this thing? It's covered in bells. It's so cool. Look at it. I don't know if you wear it or if you just hold it, but it looks so much fun, and it makes all this noise when you move it around. Oh, hey, what's that over there? Okay, I'm gonna go see what that is. I'll be right back.
You literally outrun the giant tapirs because they're like big and chunky, so you literally like have the sumis. You're zooming around the port.
Come on, tapirs, you can catch up. You can do it. Let's all go for a run together. Whee!
I knew this was some sort of witchcraft.
Hard cut to Sylas being passed out in the cove.
Yeah, like 15 minutes later, he is just in the back of a cart, and Grandma Val is just like having her people or her beasts of burden pull us away, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so sleepy.
The crashes.
Here, Sylas, have some coffee.
What is this? Oh my gosh, wow! This is great too!
When I was doing research for this game, I learned so much about like how most of the Caribbean islands literally had all of the cash crops when they became independent. And because of that, like European nations and America kind of like put them on this like trade embargo that if they wanted to trade with any of the other nations, they had to like pay an exorbitant amount of money to just join the market. Even though we had all the good stuff, we had coffee, we had sugar, we had cotton, we had everything they wanted, but they're like, nope, you don't deserve independence. You don't get to trade with us.
That sounds like the U.S.
Yeah, that's fitting.
We had all the good stuff, man. We had all the good shit. So as we travel back to the camp, nothing of note happens. Eventually, at some point, some other of Grandma Valet's allies, you see them on the road, like not too far behind or ahead of you. And when you get to her camp, there is a bunch of old, scruffy-looking veterans just like smoking and drinking and shoving large amounts of like fudge and cake into their mouths. They're like, they're the kind of old people who are like, fuck this, I did everything I had to do already, I'll just be drunk and fat my whole life. And you guys approach.
Hello everyone, good to see you again.
When you guys dismount, you get a bunch of looks and a few grunts. And
this is Sylas and Quitana?
Yes?
Hello. I'm Sylas Cantor. It is great to meet you. Do you happen to have any cupcakes?
No more cupcakes for Sylas. For now.
Someone throws a block of something brown, like caramel color brown, and like creamy in your direction. And it is indeed a like 9 inches by 2 inches bar of milk fudge.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so Sylas is occupied for the next 15 minutes or so in all of this, which is great, because Shane really has to go pee.
Yes, so while Sylas is again giving himself a sugar coma, Grandma summons all of her crewmates, and they each pull out one of those blue discs, and she's like, alright, sweetie, throw yours in the pot again.
I do that.
And they fill it up with water, and one of the veterans comes over, and she takes off her gloves, and you see her hands are all like burnt cut. Like, she really had a rough go with her hands at life. And she starts casting something. And it is similar in nature to a dispel magic spell. But Quitana, even though you would have access to dispel magic right now and you probably know the mechanics of that spell, this feels way beyond what a dispel magic would be like. And the water that all the things were on turns a bright green and then settles into like a dirty pond green, like turtle water almost. And most of the disc inside kind of like dissolve as if they were sugar or like pieces of like sugar cubes pretty much. And one of them floats up to the top and it starts glowing bright blue. And Grandma says, "Well, Valen,
I'll pick it up.
I guess, yeah, this is the moment. I'm sorry that I lied to you before. I'm not proud of that. I was really concerned about you, but clearly you are more trustworthy than all these old bags." And she like kicks dirt in the direction of her old crew, avoiding that spellcaster lady who she seems to like a lot. And she says, It's time that we stop being passive. I was okay with hiding and doing all of this obfuscation stuff, but they have gone too far. And Mama don't like this. Mama don't play this game. You have Bertha here, and she will grant each of you some extra protection on your way out. I need you to go out, first to our allies, and make sure that their discs are safe, and that their people are aware of what's going on, and that when the time of the parade comes, we are all ready to stand our ground. If you get a chance to take out that little walking turret of Tiversio, please do. Or at least, beat up some of his buddies. But it is time that we strike back.
So we have, I don't want to say license to kill here, but, license to kill?
She gives you a look, like, "Sweetie, we talked about this before. Killing will only get on the table if it's extremely necessary. You are very free to kill anyone who is exerting their influence over our people."
Oh, I meant Tiburcio in particular.
As much as I want him dead, he is one of my kind, and I would never ask that you bring death upon him. Maybe break a few of his legs. By a few, I mean both of them.
I mean, okay, just to be clear, you don't really have to ask me. It was sort of a volunteering thing, but I understand where you're getting at, so
I mean,
we will stick with limbs.
Tiburcio
Yes.
is sending in like weird mist people and rope things, so like maybe he has extra legs. We don't know. We're just gonna have to find out when we get there.
Yeah, we can play it by ear.
Gosh, this stuff is good. What did you say it was again? Fudge? That sounds like something I would shout when I'm excited, but this is really good.
Valen is just like absentmindedly like nodding while staring at the disc in his hand.
So what Bertha is gonna offer you is there is a reward on the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's called, I believe, a blessing. It's a magical token of appreciation from a person or a being that can hold powerful magic. You can either get one of those, which I need to pull up my DMG. We're gonna take a little break, and when we come back, we'll do the blessings. Or you can ask her to cast a spell up to level 6 on you.
Jesus.
Anything that's in the druid or cleric spell list.
That's interesting.
That is interesting indeed.
I mean, my instinct is just blessing, because if we're gonna do a whole level spell, I'd have to do a bunch of research on it, so.
Same.
You know what? The next session we're gonna open up with your blessings and how Bertha granted you those blessings or gifts.
Okay. So now let's get to, I guess, a crazy cliffhanger.
What?
Quitana's skin bursts into flames and her eyes glow purple, and she says, "You are all fools and under my power," and everyone bows to her. What will happen next? Find out and tune in to The Legend of Nat 1.
Sounds legit. No follow-up questions.
D&D is much easier if you just ignore the presence of the DM.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we can leave it here. We can leave it at the Bertha's blessing, and I really enjoyed. Well, even though it was not much of an interrogation, I was really looking forward for like 3 full minutes of you guys beating him up while he's being choked and getting answers out. We were too nice.
Yeah, we have to talk about our interrogation techniques to really fine-tune a little bit, because we gotta be spicy and quick with it.
More violent?
So maybe that's the next opening scene, is Quitana in front of a chalkboard telling us about how to interrogate properly. Then it would definitely have torture and then have it crossed out and write interrogation. We'd be like...
I can definitely provide some tips on extracting information in the most efficient way possible.
Okay. But for the record, we know that that doesn't actually work, right? Just to be clear for the listener's sake, the real world stance is that torture does not actually work. It just makes people confess to things they didn't do.
Oh,
They'll
yes.
say anything to make it stop.
As Rick, torture was like not great, and also very much promoted by the Catholic Church when they were doing crazy shit. They like literally invented a bunch of weird forms of torture. Did you know that you can survive for like 3 days with just like a large metal pole stuck up through your butt and out through your shoulder because it avoids most of your internal organs?
So, fun fact, Quitana's homeland is heavily inspired by Orthodox Christians and other very extreme sects of religious origin. So yes, I do know. And yes, we will see plenty of it once we hit Quitana's homeland.
Very exciting stuff. I can't wait for you to see where I come from.
Yeah, but now that we've acknowledged the real-world ramifications of torture, at least slightly, you can go back to removing people's limbs, so that's fun.
Again, we don't remove limbs. You run out too quickly.
This is horrible. I hate this.
And on that note, thank you everyone for listening. Don't hate us. We're just
appreciate us.
We're just the unfortunate accumulation of real-life trauma. And my name is Germán.
I'm Shane. I played Sylas, and God, that was an accurate statement. We're just the accumulation of real-life trauma.
Yeah, well...
And a skin suit. I forgot to mention we have a skin suit on most of the time.
Yes. My name is Rick. I'm the voice of Quitana, and I would go so far as to say that the act of growing up is in and of itself inherently traumatic. So I agree with that statement about us being collections of trauma.
I'm Valen, and I was voiced by a skin sack filled with trauma called Pavel.
Gosh, we went from vibing to trauma. This has been a swing.
Well, that's podcasting. We got to go with the flow, you know.
We also learn about sugar for the first time in the world, so that's nice. At least there's something sweet there.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of something sweet, you know what I find real sweet? Board games and video games and booze.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right. That's my transition into plugging my Saturday events, which is why I have to leave this recording. Please feel free, if you are in New York, come by every Saturday, 3 to 9 at Rock Bar. It is a 21-up event. I'm also doing board game and Smash Brothers at XOXO Lounge on, I want to say, the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of every month. If I got that wrong, I apologize when you show up on the wrong day. But yeah, anybody have anything else that you want to plug?
Yes. So if you're in the New York City or Jersey City area, I bartend at Journal Square Lounge. Come over. We have White Claw Wednesdays, and I'm a bartender for that night. It's great and it's cheap, $2. Also on Sundays, a Rebar in Chelsea. I do audio stuff for a cross-dresser friend of ours, Adriana Trenta. And yeah, come over. It's 9 o'clock. It's a lot of lip syncing. It's a lip sync battle theme every week. It's great. I love it. Come see me and come say hello. The DJ booth. I love you. Bye.
And if you want to go to these events without a chafed butt, make sure you pick up a bidet and install that at home, because it can really save your life, especially in these hot summer months when you get swass and everything. Like, you just want to make sure you're fresh and clean down there after pooping.
Listeners, that you can always send us an email at legendofnat1@gmail.com. So if you happen to work for any bidet companies and are looking to start up an affiliate program, hit us up.
Tushy, I love you.
Are you caught up on Nat 1? Are you looking for ways to spend your time while using your fantastic new bidet? Check out Vincenzo on Netflix. Great show.
Oh god. I also do weddings. Like, I will just show up to your wedding and do the wedding. It's great. I love wedding food.
Well, I love all you kids. Thank you for playing today. And thank you to the listeners for listening. And yeah, it's time to go get drunk and play some games.
We are the youth of the nation. Oh, wait, that's the wrong podcast.
We didn't talk about singing anything, so...
Yet.
Singing things is an extra fee for me, just so everyone knows.
Gotcha. Can I pay you in bidets?
I really want to do
Potentially.
A musical episode a la Buffy the Vampire Slayer that everything is a song.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
more
we
with
have
feeling.
to. It is A-okay that it's going to be terrible, but
I'm gonna stop my recording, by the way.
This is all preem content. I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, bye everyone. Love you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Remember, if you like our podcast and enjoy our content, make sure to check us out on Discord.
There's a link in our show notes.
The Legend of Nat 1 theme is by David Yardley. You can find more of his work at davidyardleymusic.com. That's Yardley spelled Yardley.
Logo by Ben Thwaite.
You can follow us on our socials. The Legend of Nat 1 on Facebook and Nat 1 Pod on Instagram and Twitter.
That is Nat, the number 1 pod.
And if you really like our content, you can throw us $1 on Patreon. Nat 1 Pod.
Email us at legendofnat1@gmail.com to give us feedback, suggestions, or criticisms that will haunt us for the rest of our days.
The majority of our music is by Kevin MacLeod, and the license is provided by incompetech.filmmusic.io.
Valen decided he needed his own theme music. You can find Pirates of the Quarantine by Alexander Nakarada, and the license is provided by filmmusic.io.
I love that. That is loved by me.
It seems a bit biased about your love.
Our amazing editing is done by the incomparable Brandon Lee,
Also known affectionately as Pooh Bear.
with assistance by Shane Cherry.
Hey, that's me.
And if you didn't like our content, again, we are The Adventure Zone.
That's some gay history right there, because that is a staple drag queen joke.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful.
I don't know what's going on. I didn't change anything about my setup. Let me see if I can get closer to the mic, maybe.
That's
Is this
good.
better? This sultry approach. I'm like holding the mic like if it was a lover.
Yes.
I love this.
microphone.
Yeah, this is very good. We can hear you very clearly now.
I want for this to be the episode where we find out that Germán has been screaming at his mic from across the room this whole time.
I will not justify that with an answer. How dare you?
Fully not understanding how mics work.
This accusation really hurts me, Pavel. How dare you?
This is a personal attack. I am personally attacking you, yes.